Welcome back, All Things Nerdy, episode 60 with Nate and Joe. I'm Nate, that's Joe. Today we have an awesome, fun, and exciting something that we have been waiting for. I have been waiting for since like 2015.
11 years.
Oh my God, it's been so long, and we've been like looking forward to this. We actually changed our topic. They dropped a lot of information yesterday. And I was like, Joe, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about it. So we're going to be talking about NCAA college football and what it is, how it is, what we're doing, how excited we are, why we can't wait, what this means to us. So much stuff. It's going to be an action-packed 30 minutes. We're going to kick off with the trailer that they shared earlier today. Or was it yesterday? Oh, today. They shared it today. All right. They dropped a ton of pricing information yesterday. They dropped a trailer today. They have confirmed that it's supposed to be nothing like Madden. I do have some concerns from the trailer, but I don't even care at this point. I'm just so excited. So all that, Joe, throw out what you want, and we're going straight into the trailer.
Yeah, dude, 11 years since the last game, which is insane. This has been on everyone's list of they need to make another one for forever. Anyone who games talk to. And I mean, all things nerdy, this is like the epitome of it. Like, we're super excited about a game. It's like, let's go. So without further ado, let's talk nerdy.
Let's talk nerdy.
Beautiful bean footage.
Let's roll it. Let's roll it. Here we go.
Finally, it is here. You can take all that just another game stuff and throw it out. The eyes of the nation are on this field today, and that's what these players live for.
All right. So first off, I'm fucking stoked. Even just watching that, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. That's probably like the 5th time that I watched it today. I am fucking stoked. I am so mother effing excited.
You still gotta wait with like another month and a half. Is it what was the release date? It was
July 19th. If you get the early access, so you can sign up for like EA Live. And look, I'm not telling anybody to go do this. Like, spend your money how you so choose. You can get EA access, and you get it 3 days early. I had a buddy, won't name any names, but he did the EA access and then bought the MVP bundle, which is $150. You get the 3-day early access. You get Madden, you get NCAA, plus all the extra perks that come with it. And then he turned around and refunded his EA access after he bought it all. So he actually did it, got all of it, and then refunded the $6, which is what EA access costs.
I mean, is there not a free trial of EA? Like, I'd have to drop in $150. Like, is the $6 really that big of a difference?
Well, the $150 is Madden and NCAA, right? But so the actual game drops July 19th, but you can get 3-day early access through EA Access, and they have dropped several bundles. You have your standard, your premium and then deluxe or something like that, and MVP. And MVP is Madden and NCAA. So
that's pretty typical of pretty much any like console game, like, or like there's always different versions, like just your standard, deluxe, that kind of thing. So that's not really college football 25 specific, but we do have a comment in the chat. Let's pull it up. Stephanie says, about how much time do you think you will spend playing it the first day, week, month? Yes, that's the answer to that question is yes.
Yeah, you should plan a trip. If you were my wife, I would tell you to expect to live at least close to a week without any company of your husband whatsoever. That is what I would say. Put your PTO in now. Take the time off. Let your wives know. Let your husbands know if you play, right? Like, mentally prepare them that you are going to be an absent, partner, an absent father, absent wife, whatever it is, for at least a week from July 19th to like July freaking 26th. I don't know, right? But like, I'm just not leaving. And also, like, for me, I already have buddies. We're talking about setting up a dynasty. What are our rules? Like, what teams are we going to run? And stuff like that. Like, this throws back to like being a kid playing with your buddies. I remember like on basketball game days going over to a buddy's house and just like playing NCAA football. My wife's smirking. Oh God, we're going to the Olympics that week, aren't we?
You'll have to. You just don't need the early access pass, Nate. You'll just have to wait till you get back from the Olympics.
We leave on the 21st. That means I have 2 days of play before we leave for a week.
Oh, you're going to get so left behind in the dynasty.
Do you think if we emailed the Olympics that they would push it a week?
I mean, come on. The Olympics is how often are the Olympics? And this is 11 years in the making.
Yeah, just push a week. Like, come on. The Olympics should have planned better, right? Like, with 100%. The release of NCAA being so close. Well, their attendance is definitely going to go down now. Didn't even know that.
That would be a poll to see, like, how many people that were going to the Olympics are now not going to go because they're going to play in college football 25.
Yeah. Well, I think a big thing is we're going to Portugal for like 5 days before the Olympics. So technically, if we skipped Portugal, then I would have like a full week of NCAA prior to the Olympics. But here we are.
Good luck with getting her on board with that one.
I might be coming down with a sickness. Just know.
Just bring your console with you to Portugal. It's fun. Just hole up somewhere in a corner. Make sure you have good internet.
We both know that's not how I travel. It's going to literally be like, I cannot wait to get back because I will just be ready to play. Like, I'm talking, and they were talking like, I don't know how many teams. Originally, it was like a 12-team dynasty, but my buddies were talking like it might go up to like 32-team dynasty or something like that. Like, imagine filling like 2 conferences of nothing but people, all user games, all recruiting, the transfer portal. Like, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait.
That's awesome. What do you think of the cover?
I mean, the cover's nice. I mean, the people that are on there are good. I think there's different covers for different versions. Let me look.
Yeah, I think there's at least like a standard version cover, and the deluxe edition has a different cover that looks really cool.
Yeah. Let's see. So the original one I actually like, with Edwards, Ewers, and Hunter, and then you got Milrow, you got Judkins. Like, I think it really highlights like football in itself. You have the fireworks, you have all the school banners, the flags. It has a lot of different teams in there. It looks like Notre Dame has 2 people, which I don't like. But other than that, like, it's got Beck, and I mean, I think it's really good. I think the cover is great. My biggest concern is, and it's not like a cover thing. My biggest concern is I don't want it to be like Madden. Madden sucks. Madden is an and this is my concern from the trailer. I said I have a couple concerns. So Madden is an animation-driven game, and what that means is certain animations are locked out of your control. So say you do like a stretch play, and the running back spins. I know he's going to spin, right? Like I'm anticipating it. So the animation locks me into overplaying versus letting me stop him from spinning. So it is insanely frustrating. And also, like, they try to make the tackles so cool and so different that, like, you can be tackling somebody for a loss and one of your random defenders will come in and hit them and then push them back forward like 4 yards. And you're like, what the F? That's never really going to happen. It's just a bad animation. So on the trailer, there were 3 different spots where they juked. One was like he juked backwards, and you see the people like just right past him. And that is something that legitimately happens on Madden. You hit the back juke, and the people just like get sucked in, and they just whoop, and you just keep running, and it's very frustrating. So I see that, and I'm like, no,
But I mean, that's how it would happen. Like if you're running at someone in real life and they do that, you're going to miss. Like you can't just be like, whoop. Oh, you stop on dime.
Well, yes and no, but also like you will miss sometimes, but also like I want to have the control over that. I want to be able to dictate like if I'm going to run, if I'm going to slow down. I don't want the game to decide for me. And like one of my biggest complaints with like Madden and even like I think 2015 NCAA kind of did this as well. Like if I'm a DB and I push triangle, I want your ass to jump. I don't care if I'm nowhere close to the ball. The game does not know better than me. If I hit triangle, I want you to make a play for the ball, right? And on Madden, like a lot of times you'll be in position. Like it's like pick city. Like it's just right there in your face. Like this. And you'll hit it and and it goes right over and you're like, what the fuck? Why? So I'm hoping they went back to more of the stick skills versus the animation skills where you could actually control your players. Like, dude, I remember back in the day playing a safety or a linebacker and just baiting poor throws, right? Like you're playing off, and then breaking. Is it the most realistic thing? No, maybe not. But it was stick skills. It's what allowed you to elevate your game and be a little better than the other people was your ability to bait and recover or to like close gaps and holes and stuff like that. They've tried to make it so real and so like, I don't know, like fun to watch while playing that they've taken a lot of the skill out of playing.
Well, Nate, if your coverage gets blown, your coverage is blown. Okay, like,
well, it's not a blown coverage. I'm baiting you, right? Which happens all the time in actual football.
The game doesn't. I don't think the game knows that, right? Like, blown coverage and baiting to an algorithm is the same thing. You're not where you're supposed to be. So I could see where the disconnect is there. Hold on, we got Steven's got a comment. Says, "Come on, Nate, it'll be Madden with different skins players." No, they said it wasn't going to be like that, Steven. Don't come in here with your negativity. We've waited too long for this. I'm just kidding. You can have your opinion, and you're probably right.
So they have confirmed that it is different than Madden. In what way, in what form is different than Madden? I don't know. I hope it plays like an NCAA game, but I will say I'm only buying the standard edition because if EA is known for anything, it is finding a way to fuck things up. So there you go.
Have zero expectations, and you'll never be disappointed. Why couldn't I not say that?
I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm buying the standard edition. I'm going to play it on July 19th when it comes out. I'm not doing the early access. I'm not doing any of that. I want them to be able to work the bugs out. I don't want to log in and not be able to play a game. I don't want to be frustrated. I'm going to wait till July 19th. I'm going to get it when it comes out in the standard edition, because if I turn that motherfucker on and it's Madden, I'm turning that bitch right back off and requesting a refund.
I think I will wait until you play it, and then I'm going to let you tell me if I should buy it. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Like, I'm all about trying new games and giving games a chance and stuff like that, but the release of this game has to be so flawless because, like, if you look, like, it's already got ratings. The game's not even released yet, and people are leaving review. Like, this game has been coveted for so long. People have wanted it and looked forward to it for so long, right? Like, it has to be flawless, and I just don't trust EA to do that. EA sucks. And they will find a way to fuck it up.
Well, it was like, at first, it's like, it's never going to happen. And then it was like whispers of like, what if it might happen? And then it was like, oh no, it's going to happen. And then they gave us a date. And now it's like, oh my God, the date is almost here. So it's like this buildup. They've done a great job of marketing this, I believe, if that was what they meant to do the entire time. I mean, an 11-year stretch of like after they've overcome the legal stuff of like using player likeness, all that kind of stuff, got that figured out. I know in our like description I put like NCAA, but NCAA is actually not tied to this game at all. It's called College Football 25, not NCAA, and there's nothing about NCAA at all, and they're not affiliated in any form, which is kind of nice, right? Because
they went to the school specifically, right?
Yeah, they went to the school specifically, and there were some weird stuff that NCAA like made them remove from older games. I'm trying to remember exactly what they were, but I remember just the rules that NCAA was putting on them was just making the game like less fun.
Well, also, this is going to be off topic, but we can quickly dive into this. College football doesn't need the NCAA. NCAA does not run college. Like, they set the rules and the regulations in which they, have to play by. But the truth is, the SEC could secede from the NCAA and be like, fuck y'all, we're just going to create our own football league. And they would be successful. They could bring in Texas, Oklahoma. Like, the NCAA is just, like, they're stupid, And it's a governing body governing a body of people that just don't give a shit about it anymore. They don't need it anymore.
Does College Football 25, like it not being NCAA, does that mark like the beginning of something? Like, is this like the beginning of the downfall of the NCAA kind of thing?
Well, I think NCAA has already realized like they've lost a ton of power. They do not have the power they used to, especially with all these big conferences coming together, the power conferences. It keeps like sapping more and more power from them because originally when it was like, small like conference everywhere conference versus the big Power Five and stuff, like there was so much like diversity and power and TV marketing and conferences and stuff like that one conference, the SEC would probably be the only one that was close to it that could be like, F you, we don't want nothing to do with you and stand alone. But now with all the Power Five, like each of them could kind of just be like, screw you, NCAA, like we're not going to do what you want. Now that would bar them from participating in the, NCAA like football schedule and stuff like that without other schools agreeing to go outside of it. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I honestly did not know that NCAA was not part of the game. To me, it's always NCAA college football,
No, now it's going forward. It's just College Football 25. That's what it's called. Yeah. Now, I know that was getting kind of back to the game a little bit. So the create player aspect. One, I mean, I always created myself, right? Maybe 99, blah, blah. Like I was the best player on the team. It's just, I was a kid. It's just fun. But a lot of people, they will put time into like creating the realistic team. So for this game, you had to opt in, right? And I know several players didn't opt in. Like Archie Manning was one of the ones that like didn't opt in. So he's not going to be like technically in the game. Will you, and do you think other people take the time to look at that list of people who like starters, at least, right? Starter, second string, who didn't opt in and actually take the time to build them into the game before you start playing?
So I've read conflicting things, right? I read something that said that like team creation where you could edit rosters is not going to be a thing. Because what got NCAA now conflicting things, because I've also seen things where it says it is going to be in the game, right? But I know previously there were issues where people were creating players and releasing rosters that were up to date, that looked like the players, that had similar attributes, that had, the correct, what they would think of as their speed, like Tim Tebow being left-handed and throwing left-handed, and Percy Hart and all those things, right? And I know that was a big sticking point, like, oh, these people are using this to create our likeness and we can't benefit from it, right? So I've read some stuff that says it's not going to be allowed, but also like that is the lifeblood of like a lot of these college games, especially towards the end of the season and in the off season. Like when people transfer, people are still in the hype, like, hey, I want to play. So creating updated rosters, like this QB went to the draft, so now it's what the next season roster would really look like is going to be on there. But then again, like Archie Manning, if he sees a publicly released roster and it's like the number 1 rated roster and it has him, he goes in there and it looks just like him, and he, it's his name, it's his likeness, it's his same throwing motion, it's all these things, then what's to stop, him from causing a fuss? Because first off, him opting out of it, what a douche move, right? You don't need the money. You don't need any of this. It is awesome to see yourself on there. Why not just let them do it? Like, I'm not good enough. But if they were like, Nate, we want you on the game, fuck yes. Right now. I will pay you to do it.
Yeah, I'll pay you to put me in the game. I'm going to put myself in the game anyway. That's like one of the first things I always did. Like, I always picked the lowest ranked team. I think it was like Temple most of the time. Just some random low-ranked team. Made myself as like the star running back, and then just like brought that team from nothing to the championship. Like that was like my game of NCAA. Like, yeah. And I was never into like that deep, like, looking up the rosters and making them up to date. But I had friends who did that and poured time into making up to date rosters, did the research, and it was like really cool to see. If they take that from the game, like, I feel like that's a really big part of the game that a lot of people are going to be upset about.
Yeah. Well, so also, I don't know. I mean, kudos to your friends, but you could also download public rosters, and they were done for you. Like, I never did it myself, but I always had updated rosters that had updated ratings and all those things.
Yeah.
It was like Marshmallow something, whatever, that released them all each year, But it was likeness, numbers, position changes, team changes. Like, he ran it all. Like, kudos to that guy. I know he didn't get paid to do it, but man, just start a GoFundMe. I'll throw a couple bucks in there. Yeah. But if they take that out, it is unfortunate. But I think if we want a game to continue, they will have to protect themselves from infringements like that. Because, I mean, a punter has already thrown a mess. Like, people who aren't going to the next level, who want some kind of reimbursement or money or something, they're always going to go after things that they can, and it's going to hurt the rest of us, right? So, like, if people are able to create, you will always have the people that'll say, like, hey, this happened. People used my likeness. I didn't get credit for it. This game allowed them to do it, and so on and so forth, which I hope they put it in there,
Yeah. I think with AI now, it's going to be super easy to build out. Like, you could there's probably somebody who's already working on something that, hey, these are the guidelines, go build this roster for me. And I bet it could do it in minutes rather than probably the time it took back 10, 11 years ago to build an up-to-date and correct roster.
Yeah, I bet back in the day it took a minute. So I don't know, dude. I'm so excited. I hope it works out. I'm more so I don't really get into like the rank games or anything like that. Like, I'm a dynasty guy at this point. I love the recruiting. I want to see how they implement the recruiting portal, allowing people to switch and change. And supposedly NIL is going to be a part of the game. So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be like the higher prestige you are, the more money you have to offer as a NIL kickback for players, or like because like Texas, even if they go to like a 1-star prestige, right? Not gonna happen, but say they just sucked constantly, they are still going to have more money than like a 5-star prestige Eastern Carolina team or freaking Tulane team. Well, actually, Tulane's a private university. Tulane could probably do all right if they had somebody that actually wanted to go there. But Texas, nonetheless, still going to have more money from a NIL. So I want to see how they work it in on a per school basis, or if it's just like here's your budget. Good luck.
Yeah.
You know. And then I also I hope it has like dynamic like rankings and stuff, because a lot of times in the old NCAA, a lot of people did not digress, right? Like if they came in at a 78, then they'd go up to an 80, then an 82, 84, so on and so forth. But like there's a lot of times these deals don't work out. So if I invest $12 million into what I think is going to be like the next coming of freaking Peyton Manning, right? And then like I want a chance that he's a bust, right? Like I don't want it to always be perfect. That way, like I can waste money, you know?
Could you imagine? I got the best recruiting class, and just like your team sucks because they're all busts. Like your luck is that bad that every single player you recruit busts.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be rough.
Yeah, and I want to see how you can interact and recruit people out of the portal. Like I assume it will be like normal recruiting, like back in the day style recruiting, where you could schedule them visits and you just kind of allocate time into recruiting them. I would assume that it will probably be like a 3-week thing where you get an X amount of time that you can allocate to them and then give visits, offer nil deals and stuff like that. But dude, I cannot wait for the conversation where like one of my buddies, even my like top prospect, like top recruit, top performing player hits the portal and I can snipe them. Oh God, it's going to be so good. So good. I cannot wait. And then you get to turn around and like destroy your friends with a player that they lost. That's just dubs for everybody. Well, except for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, except for that specific person that you're crushing. Oh man, that's pretty. That would be for a fun, just whole interaction there. But then when it happens to you, you're like, no, like why did my player enter the portal in the first place? What did I do wrong? What did I not do good enough for them?
Yeah, F them. At that point, I'm deleting the dynasty. You ain't taking my players. Hold everybody hostage. So I'm the commish. Okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, I'm the captain now.
I will say, so like I said, we are all a bunch of dynasty people. One of my concerns for college football is it looks like they're going to do like an ultimate team for college football. And on Madden, ultimate team is fun. Don't get me wrong, but it is a massive cash grab. And that is all it is. And it tends to be where they put a lot of their focus because of the money that comes along with it. So I'm really hoping that they keep the core game really good, taken care of, maintained, versus just worrying about weekly releases, weekly events to get people to spend more money on like packs and stuff like that. And also like that's so many kids going into like what would be a pack. Right. And that's just tough. I don't really know how that's going to work. Whereas like there's only 32 teams in Madden, but in the NCAA, there's like 120. I don't know. 150. I don't know.
I was looking up like how many players it was that opted in. Over 10,000 players opted in to College Football 25. And I think they said the minimum payment was like $600. And of course, like the more notoriety you have, that kind of stuff, you got more lucrative deals for ones who are on the cover, that kind of thing. But if you think of just say 10,000 times $600, like they put $6 million into just likeness of players, like that's literally just the namesake and likeness of players. $6 million. Like to me, that's a lot. I mean, I don't know in game dev, like if that's like a drop in the hat kind of thing, or dropping like a small amount. But to me, I was just like, that's a lot of money to put in just for that one little thing.
Yeah, I assume they're going to make that money back hand over fist. I don't know for sure, but I think it's safe to assume that this is probably going to be one of the most purchased games in recent years. Just because, like, I mean, I know people who have not played games in years who are like, I'm going to buy a PlayStation. Like I will be there the day it's released. Like I have a buddy, he hardly ever plays video games, and he's texting me like hyping me up about it. Like he is ready. And I have one guy. I used to play Call of Duty with him. We don't play hardly anything together anymore. I don't even know if he games anymore. And he texted me this morning. He's like, "Did you see the trailer?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I did."
Did you see the trailer?
Yeah. He's like, I can't wait to play. I'm like, didn't even know you were a college football person, but sweet.
And I remember like playing the games like on game day, right? Like Saturday morning before the games got kicked off. Like I preferred playing the game over watching the actual games a lot of the times. Like it was just that fun.
Yeah. So I used to be in a league like Xbox Live Sports League, and we would do like dynasties. We also ran Madden leagues and all those things. Now I'm on PlayStation now versus Xbox. Well, I played mostly on PC, but from college football, I go back to PlayStation. But like we had a full dynasty. We had rules implemented that we had to follow. And if you didn't follow those rules, we had scheduling rules. Like we advanced every 72 hours, and you had to make contact with your opponent within the first 24 to schedule a game within the next 48, right? And stuff like that. And if you weren't available at X times, then you had to agree to sim. And then also in the game, we had in-game rules to stop from like blatant cheesing. Like your halfback could not lead the league in receiving. Your quarterback could not lead the league in rushing, which is a little taboo now because quarterbacks run a lot more, running backs catch the ball a lot more. This was 11 years ago when it was much more still, the spread wasn't as much, the option wasn't as much. It was kind of just coming in.
Yeah, before Alvin Kamara and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. But I mean, it's literally like you can't run the same pass routes. Like I can't run slants over and over and over, right?
Yeah. You just run slant on one side, then switch it to the other side, and you give it some.
Now, we even had like audible rules. You couldn't go for it on fourth down unless like the game called for it at the end of the game. Like you're down by 2 scores with like a minute and a half left, right?
Unless you would do it in real life. Like,
you had one coach's call a game where it didn't make sense, but I could go for it if I wanted to. Like it's 4th and 1 on my own 20, and I'm confident that I can get it. I can go for it. It's like my one coaching call. But at any point, if the opponent felt like I was abusing something in the game, they could report it or like record it and then report it to a moderator. And the moderator could either like make us restart the game or like cause me to forfeit.
I never got into anything that serious with it. Like I played some online games and with friends and stuff like that, but never where like we had moderators like saying we couldn't do stuff. Do you know how many times I got beat because they would just run Hail Marys and just
back in the day, Percy Harvin, Tim Tebow, that Gator scene, literally I had to do a Hail Mary, run around for a second. Either Percy Harvin beat him or you could just run with Tim Tebow. Easy. Was not hard, right? So a lot of people in our old league, like they were some really, really good players. So like everybody knew how to take advantage of the game, and all the rules were to prevent that and make people play legitimate, like as close to real football as you could, which in turn, ruined ranked games for me. Like I struggle to go play ranked games now because I'm used to good, fun, clean, actual like football. Like if I get on Madden, dude, it's so frustrating. Like, it doesn't matter what I call, they're pinching the line, they're spreading their linebackers, they're blitzing everybody, but they're also pressing, but then they're showing blitz, which brings them in, but their DBs always recover. They're getting to me in like 3 seconds. And I'm just like, how is this fun? Right. So like, I mean, I could sit there and do the same thing. It's just not enjoyable. So I prefer to have the rules in place that everybody has to follow. Like also like, if you lose the computer, which nobody ever loses a computer, if you lose the computer, it's a struggle bus, right? But like you can't reset. You wouldn't believe how many power outages and shit people had back in the day. Or I was guilty of this. Like my star quarterback get hurt. Fuck no, power outage.
Oh man, I forgot about the injuries. Oof.
Yeah. So
looks like we are over time.
I could talk about this forever.
I know, right? But July 19th, mark it on your calendars. And if you get the EA Sports package or whatever, EA Gaming, 3 days early if you want to pay the $6 to do that. Nate, sounds like you have to in order to be able to enjoy the game, right? Yep. I mean, if you're going to Portugal, you're gonna have to drop the $6 and get it early so you can get some time in before you leave.
Yeah, my buddies were talking about setting up a dynasty like day one. I'm gonna tell them that they're gonna have to wait a week now. or they're gonna have to start without me, which would suck. But
throw my name if you need another person for the dynasty.
I mean, if you want to join, you can. I mean, we're gonna have rules, and you're gonna have to follow them and stuff like that. But I mean, if you want in, Joe, we need more people. We need more consistent, fun people. So
yeah, and I've never been one of the ones to just like get on Madden and just. Oh, we got a comment. It says Nate has to pick Auburn. He needs a challenge to make that team good again.
I don't know if that's a challenge I want to take on. I love taking real shit teams and making them good, but freaking Auburn.
Roll Tide.
I'm hoping Auburn's decent this year. Hoping.
I mean, they'll be better than some teams, worse than other teams.
We do usually tend to have rules where we do 3 stars or under for the schools we're able to pick, because picking Alabama is just no fun. Picking Texas is no fun. So if Auburn falls under 3 stars, then I could take them. But I have a buddy that's also an Auburn fan, Marchman, Jorge, Marchman, that
Georgia Southern.
If Auburn falls to 3 stars, which they probably will, right? Marchman will get Auburn, and I will just take I'll end up taking Tulane or something and trying to whoop everybody and take a championship year 1 so I can make fun of them.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I remember now. I mean, the Ducks are good now, but I remember back when I played NCAA, I used to choose the Ducks a lot just because they were one of the lower teams back then.
Dude, Oregon, bro. Oregon's unis were so cool. And so NCAA helped put Oregon on the map because of their uniforms, because they were exciting to watch. They were electric. But then they had the coolest uniforms of any other school, and they still do, let's be honest, right? But a lot of other schools have started catching on and realizing hey, we got to look cool. We got to, up our, as the young kids would say, our Riz game or something, right?
That's the young whippersnappers.
Yeah, that paid me to say.
Now he's coming after me, Appalachian State River. Get out of here with that, man. You're just he says Appalachian State River. So Nate, if you don't know, App State and Georgia Southern are very big rivals. So he's just picking on everyone today.
I did not know that. I'm not up to date on my App State Georgia Southern, rival games. So, but yeah, July 19th, I cannot wait. Joe, Jorge, if you want in a league, let me know, because it's going to be me, Marshman, Cooper, all the normal guys, Keaton, a few other people. We're going to be running a good league. So,
yeah, I gotta have a chance to beat Keaton, but
I don't know. Keaton's pretty good. That's going to be tough for you, dude.
No, before we go, and this isn't necessarily like NCAA or college football related, but remember the time we were in the Apex office having a discussion, and I was trolling him so hard about Drew Brees. I was like, he was just a system quarterback, and you could put any quarterback where Drew Brees was at, and they would be as good as Drew Brees. I'm trying to remember who I said that you could, maybe Andy Luck or something like that, but he was so mad that I was saying that you could put literally any quarterback in Drew Brees' team and they would be as good as him.
Yeah, he's a Saints fan, so that makes sense. He gets he's kind of easy to get worked up though. He's a good time.
We're gonna have to get him back on here just to talk about that. But all right, man. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for the people, Steven, Jorge, Stephanie, who commented. And you guys have a great weekend, and save that date in your calendar.
July 19th. Take care, y'all. Be safe.
Yeah.